Hello everybody, welcome back to Valecast, brought to you by Motive. My name is Sybil, today I'm joined by Callum. Say hello, Callum.
Hello, Sybil. It's great to see you again this week.
Yeah, very much looking forward to this episode. I should just mention that for Valecast viewers, please hit the subscribe button. We've really appreciated all the support in the videos and all the views. And it's been wild how much Valecast is growing in such a short time, but we really do appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out at the club and help you bring you more quality media. But moving on, we have to look at our game at the weekend there, Callum, where we played a very good Rothes side. Obviously, they're already cup winners this season, right near the top of the table. They're pushing. It's not massively surprising that they got the points again against us, given the form that they're in. I believe they're still unbeaten. I'm just going to check that right now. No, they have one loss to their name, which I think they've played 13 or 14 games. So they're in incredible form.
Yeah.
But we had a good first half. From what I've heard, I wasn't at the game. Why don't you tell us a wee bit about it, Callum?
Yeah. So first half, so 0-0 at half time. I think, being sensible and pragmatic, I suppose, yes, it's maybe not a complete shock that Rothes picked up the 3 points there. But the boys gave it a hell of a good go, I tell you that. And we're, looking back at the start of the season, a few months back, we were kind of talking about first halves being the ones that were kind of killing us in the end and giving us a mountain to climb. But as this weekend just passed, it's gone the other way. And the boys, we're on top of it. The first 45 minutes, it wouldn't have been against the run of play for us to have gone in a goal up, at that stage. I like what you say. Rothes have been on a hell of a run this season. I think their only defeat in the league was to Brora, which was obviously a bit of revenge for beating them in the cup. So a hell of a campaign from them so far. So it's certainly no disgrace to go down to them at any point. But as I say, to keep it, level going into the break, it gave us every opportunity to go on and potentially nick a winner or whatever. But not so much nick a winner, but just go up and grab a winner, because I don't think it would have been, as I say, totally against the run of play based on the first half. But unfortunately, just second half came and it was just a bit of a clinical masterclass from Rothes, and we find ourselves on the wrong end of a 3-0 scoreline. So as I say, certainly no disgrace in that result.
No, absolutely not. I mean, if a team's only been beat once in the league campaign, they've already won silverware, then they're obviously they're at a sort of level and they'll be full of confidence. And it would probably be, we would be providing, if we win that match, we get a point, that would probably be sort of providing an upset. We just have to sort of be realistic. We're sitting at mid-table. We're on a decent run of form in the league. We've had obviously mixed campaigns in the cups, but that these are just sort of the realities of football. But I quite like that we did keep the clean sheet for the first half and keep it competitive, because I think if you're going to beat opposition that are making themselves hard to beat, they're winning trophies, then keeping it tight for as long as you can is definitely the way to go. And
absolutely,
it's quite pleasing to see we did that. Any more points in the game, Callum?
I don't think there's much to talk about, in all honesty with you. It was one of those games, as I say, the first half, the reports coming in was definitely saying that, it was, the Vale's first 45 minutes, I suppose, that was kind of, where we were able to keep it tight, didn't concede, obviously, in that first half, had a couple of wee chances ourselves. So, maybe could have gone in, a goal or two up, you never know. But I think, you look at teams like Rothes and the teams at the kind of higher up kind of stage of the season as well, where things are on the league table, that, we don't go into those games, just hoping to, get a draw or whatever. But in all honesty, those kind of games, if you do take something away from them, it is maybe a wee bit of a bonus. I think anybody associated with the club, we don't want to be stuck in mid-table, forever. But being realistic, that's where we're at the moment, and the teams in and around us, those are the ones that we can be taking points off. Obviously those below us as well, we go into those games with every confidence and optimism of taking the 3 points. Stranger things have happened in football, so I'm not saying that we would never be going into these games, not expecting or hoping to win, but I think you look at what's around us and in the immediate kind of couple of places and things like that. That's who we need to be taking the points from just now. And as I say, if we can pick up a couple of results, against teams in the kind of first to fifth positions or what have you, then it's great, obviously, and it's something that we would like to see. And we want to be one of those teams. In a few years' time, we want to be the teams kind of competing first to fifth or sixth. But as I say, where we're at the moment, it's a longer term project. Craig was very clear on that when he came in. As I say, it's not to say that we roll over and give up to these boys, because we've seen that we have, given some of these teams a hell of a scare. Not just this season, but I always kind of look back to Cove Rangers' last visit to Princess Royal Park when it was a late winner for them that got the 1-0 win. So it's we can give teams a hell of a good game. Away from home, obviously, we're going up there as underdogs as well, facing a healthy home crowd as Rothes have been getting of late, and fair play to them. They're on a great run at the moment. So yeah, as I say, it's you never want to lose a game. Obviously, we don't go in with the mentality that we're going to lose a game ever, but that's not the kind of weekend that you're left feeling sickened by the result, in all honesty.
No,
I think,
exactly.
The boys have given a really good account of themselves, represented the club very, very well, and there's teams, possibly even those teams in that kind of first to fifth position that will go to Rothes this season and lose by more than 3.
Yeah, exactly. And we want to be up there, obviously. Mm-hmm. That is the end goal of the transitional period we're in just now. But it's just not an overnight thing. These things don't just happen overnight. They happen over, a solid foundation season. A sort of, when we get another season, we bring in even more players. And if you think, if we have another transfer window like we had at the beginning of this season, I've got no doubts we'll have evolved into another level. Our transfer window this season was extremely strong. And are we hitting the targets we probably set for ourselves this season? I think we could have been a wee bit more competitive in the cups, but we've had some hard draws. But I do, we went out in a coin flip in the Scottish Cup, and and we're mid-table right now. And I feel like that's whereabouts you'd expect. I think if we were in the top third, then we're probably performing above a transitional sort of full new coaches, like, and half a new squad as well, getting together. But yeah, it's not the one that you're not going to go kicking a stone down the road because Rothes has beat you when they've been beaten once this season and they've already won a trophy.
Exactly.
It's not the worst thing in the world. But we have to beat the teams around us. And speaking of that, we come to our weekend fixture. We've got back-to-back fixtures against Lossiemouth. Lossiemouth are within a place of us in the league. I think we have a game in hand on them, but they are very much at our level. This is the next 2 matches are quite important for us. If we could get the double on Lossie, that would prove that we're in a great spot. That would mean we'd progress in the cup and we'd put distance between us and them, because this is a wee bit of a 6 point on the league, and I always consider, like, if you're playing a team that's right next to you in the table, it's a bit of a 6 pointer because it really means you can put a wee bit of distance between yourselves and them.
Definitely, especially we've got that game in hand on them as well. That gives us a real chance to kick on again and get moving in the right direction up the table again. So I mean, losses, it's as I say, it's the kind of team that is in and around where we're at just now. I think it's the kind of team that we go in again kind of optimistic and confident of a result. That's no disrespect to the guys up at Lossie, because they are having a pretty good season as well, I would say. But yeah, that's the kind of game that we want to win. We need to win, as you say. So it's a really great opportunity to, just to put a wee bit more daylight between us, chance to get the confidence again as well, particularly as we look towards the weekend after this one, where we have them again in the cup. This is a chance to lay a bit of a marker down for that, and then give us every opportunity to kick on with a cup run in the Highland League Cup. I think it is next weekend. So big couple of weeks coming up. And both games are at Princess Royal Park as well, which I think, as always, the home team, and having that home support there gives us that advantage. And as I say, it's just up to the boys to make that count and pick up the points.
Absolutely. There's some other good stuff going on around the club. If we look at our youth team, in the SFA Youth Cup, or the Scottish Youth Cup, as it's more commonly known, we've progressed to the 3rd round. So yes. that speaks to, it'd be great if we could see some youngsters coming through, maybe at the start of next season.
Definitely, and I mean we've spoken at length about the community club, the youth side of things, at the Vale, and obviously had that BT Sport kind of coverage as well, not too long ago, and Kev and all the coaching staff involved there are doing an absolutely wonderful job, and we've seen already players come through that youth system, possibly through the youth system, gone elsewhere for some more experience, or maybe gone into amateurs or juniors, and then coming back to us as well after that. So it's a really, really strong setup that's in place there. It's not just your everyday run of the mill youth club. It's there's a lot going on there, and as I say, I think Kev Stewart and all the coaching staff involved there, all the parents, of course, all the volunteers, people who are giving up their time to help out, is really starting to show, to bear fruit, I suppose, and going, down to Turriff and picking up a 5-0 victory in the cup. What was a horrendous night weather-wise, 8:00 kickoff as well, which, when you're 17, 18 years old, maybe isn't too bad as when you're in your 30s like us. But, finishing playing football at 10:00 at night, these boys have done the club proud, and, we're really keen to, keep everybody up to date with what's going on there. We'll be following them on this cup run as well. We'll obviously kind of share details on what round 3 looks like as and when that becomes available. A really good opportunity for the young lads to get some great experience. And then, as you say, you never know, be looking to chap on Craig's door in the not too distant future as well. Because, as I say, we've already seen a few young lads come in, get some experience, maybe out on loan as well. We've got a number of young players just now who have come through that youth system, have signed first team contracts, and have gone out on loan, maybe to kind of junior clubs in the area, just to get that bit more experience of playing, men's football. There is a big step up. I've been there myself. Once you've gone from youth football into men's football, there is quite a jump up there. You go from playing against boys all your own age to 18-year-olds up against guys in their 30s and 20s and things like that. And there is a difference there.
The league as well. The physicality of the Highland League is there's a lot of fit footballers in the Highland League. A lot of strong tacklers, strong sprinters. And you're up against some of these guys are 27, 28, just hitting their prime of so it is that sort of step up. And
definitely, and you see that even at the higher end of the game. You look at the English Premiership. Have introduced this kind of what they call it, kind of like player mentor role now within their 23s teams, where I think like Man United have got folk like Paul McShane, who was obviously at Hull and places like that. No doubt, like Tom Heaton and all that will probably end up with a place in those teams as well. So it's a chance for youngsters coming through to get experience playing with older heads to guide them through, and that's exactly what the same thing is when these boys are going out on loan. So hopefully they come back stronger, competing for a place as well, or certainly giving themselves every opportunity to be involved in the first team squad. And it can only be good for the future. As we look towards the next 80 years of the Vale, there'll be another reliance on youth coming through and impressing, and holding on to them is always an issue sometimes. But as I say, I think the community club has got that good a reputation now that players want to come and play, at Deveronvale. So that's, as I say, that can only benefit the first team in the longer run as well. So hats off to them, a great result, and as I say, we'll be keeping an eye on how they get on over the course of the campaign.
Yeah, and the better spot the first team is better chance we get of keeping a hold of those very talented youngsters. We will be keeping you up to date on the cup run and Valecast, as Callum said. Other than that, just to finish up, there was an article written on Harry Noble, I believe, Callum, on the website, if you want to just direct people there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so if you head over to deveronvale.co.uk, I think it's still the number one story on the website at the moment. So this was reshared. Harry had spoken to Northern Scot magazine, or newspaper rather. So we've reshared that. So thanks to them for that. As we haven't seen Harry out in the pitch for a good while now. Obviously picked up quite a bad knee injury and needed that surgery there. Had the long wait, with NHS waiting lists, and obviously COVID thrown on top of that as well. I think it was about a 9 or 10 month wait that he had for his surgery. He's had that now, and that's gone well. That was at the end of September there. So again, you're looking at about the same again, time-wise for recovery. But yeah, I think it's a really compelling article, actually. I think Harry spoke quite openly and honestly. He's a fine young man, and I think he spoke very, very well in it. He was quite honest and said, with this all hit, with the injury, with COVID obviously throwing football throwing the spanner in on that he considered, is this going to be what I come back to? Do I battle back? Do I do all of this rehab and then come back? And what if I get injured again and things like that? But I would say as well, Harry's been one of the first faces that I've seen on a match day. Even with him being out injured, he's been supporting the team from the sidelines and from the stands, all the way through. So absolute credit to him for that, because there's a number of players that I'm sure other players who have had long-term injuries at different clubs and things like that, could quite easily just put the head down and disappear, and maybe not ever come back at all. So, Harry's been making sure to be still involved in that squad. Obviously, there's been a bit of change, in that team since Harry last played. So, it's been a chance for him to make sure that he's still part of that, and certainly is. So I'd say, fantastic article. So go over and have a wee read of that. I think now that Harry's seeing football back again every week, he's absolutely more determined than ever to get back on the pitch. So we look forward to seeing that. Obviously, the club supporting him through his recovery as well. And hopefully we can see him back out on the pitch soon enough, because he's one of the finest left backs in the league, I would say. So really looking forward to seeing how he develops and comes back again from this injury. Kind of similar to Dane, I suppose. Having that long-term injury there. Again, Dane was still in and around the club, was still here on match days, was in the hospitality lounge. I think that just shows the team spirit, the spirit around around the club as well. The players, even though they obviously can't play, can't train, they're still there, full tracksuit on, part of this squad, and I think that speaks volumes. So, go on over and check that out, and a really good read.
Yeah, if a player could come back and have a similar influence that Dane's had on the club, then maybe that takes us to the next level. That is going to do it for this week, folks. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really does help support Valecast. We will see you next week, where we give you our thoughts on our Lossiemouth fixture at the weekend. Okay, cheery bye.